Alright, so we're making chili oil, and you can actually buy chili oil from the supermarkets, and a lot of them have the seeds in the chili oil, which I actually don't like because you end up biting the seeds, it gets stuck in your teeth, and it's a pain in the ass. So, what I like to do with my chili oil is take all the seeds out. So, to do that, you can see in there there's a ton of seeds. Now, that part there is being the membrane that holds all the seeds. And a lot of the capsaicin is actually in that membrane as well. So what we want to do is take all the seeds off around the membrane. I'm actually going to keep some of these seeds so I can regrow as well. So what you do is you just grab the seeds like that and you just give it a little shake and they all just come off. I'm putting them on a tissue paper so I can dry them and grow some more habaneros. So this is probably the most tedious job, is taking all the seeds out. And as you can see over here, I've got quite a few to do. So this is probably the most painful part of making my chili oil because I don't like the seeds. So we'll get to finding out what's in the chili oil very shortly after I take all these seeds out. Alright, so now all the de-seeding's done. So over here we've got about 30 habaneros all de-seeded. I've got about 12 super hot chilies in this because I like the heat. I think the last time I did this I only put like 5 or 6 in. I'm going to bump it up a little bit more because I actually like it. You don't have to use super hot chilies, by the way. You can add some other chilies in there that are not so hot. Habaneros have got some good heat. You might just want to stick with habaneros if that's your flavour. But I like it all combined. Here I've got 4 onions. In here I've got about 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of salt. I've got 2 tablespoons of garlic and 1 tablespoon of ginger. Here I have got about 1.5 tablespoons of MSG. Now MSG is the one that gives that nice umami flavour to chili oil. So you can buy this at your local Asian shop. So just check out your Asian shop and just ask them where the MSG is and they'll point you in the right direction. Here I've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So pretty much all I'm going to do is add all that to the onions because all of that's going into the oil once the oil's heated up. So I'll add all that. A little MSG, and of course our soy sauce. And if you come and have a look just over here, I've got the oil heating in the pan right now. Now you want to keep it on low heat as well. So low heat, your dial might be different, but low is there. So I want to sit it around there. I don't want to fast cook. I want it to be really slow. I'm also using canola oil as well. So canola oil has a high heat tolerance, which is good for making chili oil. So I'm just using the Woolies canola oil. You can use any canola oil you like. There are other oils out there that you can use that have got a high heat tolerance, but I prefer to stick to canola oil. It actually tastes quite nice with chili oil. So once the oil's heated up, I'll show you guys what it looks like when it goes in and start frying. Okay, so with the chilies, what I've done is I've put it through a blender on a pulse, so it finally dices it up. I mean, you can stand there and dice all the peppers up manually, but the blender does a good enough job. So you want them to be, fine, sort of diced, in line with your onions. Our oil's been sitting on the stove for a little bit now. The question is, how do we know our oil's ready to put all the chilies and onion in? So if you grab a piece of onion and you just dip it in there, if you start to see the onion frying like that, then you know you're ready to put your stuff in the oil. Now we just want to be careful when we put all our chilies and onion in that we don't cause any splashes. So I'm going to start with the onions and all the goodness that's been added to it. So just be careful bringing it in. Right, that's doing a good job right now. In with the chilies. Now, if you're working with super hot chilies and you're inside your house, you might want to open the front and back door or something, just a little bit of ventilation in, because there will be some smells. You know, if you've got young kids in the house as well, they may not like it, or if you've got pets and stuff, so just be wary about the smell when you're frying chilies. It's not, for me, it's not too potent, but I still ventilate the house when I do it. Once you've got it all in there, give it a stir. In actual fact, I might swap to the metal one. Right, so we started having a little bit of fire off when we poured it in. Now what will happen, we'll get to temperature and it'll start lightly frying. So you just got to make sure, because you're working with oil and oil only, just about this amount, you want to make sure that it doesn't get too hot and start smoking. If you start seeing some smoking, you need to turn the temperature down. However, I've got the temperature on low, so there's no way that it's going to start to smoke. But every, say, 5 minutes, I'll come in and just give it a stir like I'm doing now. And I'll also lift it up to see how brown it's got. We'll get to how it looks later on once it starts frying off, and we'll get to the colour that we want, or what I want, when I make my chili sauce. Chili oil, I should say. So the chili oil's been on for about an hour and 15 minutes, and as I said, it is a slow cook. You don't want to do a fast cook on chili oil. So that's what it looks like now. Now there's two variations to chili oil. You can have crispy chili oil, or you can have non-crispy chili oil. So you find the texture that you like the best, and you can stop the cook. I, however, like crispy chili oil, so I'll wait till all that crisp down and goes a nice golden brown before I end up turning the element off. So we'll get back to this very shortly, and we'll see what it looks like when it turns into crispy chili oil. Alright, so this has been going for a little while now. Give it a stir. There we go, that's the colour that it's at now. That's the colour that I like, the darker colour. Once it cools in the fridge, it goes a bit crispy and stuff, and it's really nice. As I said before, you can actually do it under that, so it's not so crispy. Personal preference, to be honest with you. So now the element can go off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all the goodness out of the oil. Because this is what's going to go in our little chili oil jars. Now the funny thing is, even though I did what I thought was a double mix from the last lot I did, this lot sort of shrunk down a bit after the frying process, so you're not going to get as much as what you think you are going to get after it all fries off. And then, obviously I've still got more out of the pot to get, but we'll get to that shortly. Once you've got all your goodness taken out of the oil, I'll grab some of that good stuff and I'll fill up my jars. So they're about, I want 3/4 full. Around about that much. And then once the oil has cooled down, I'll pour it into the jar and fill the oil up to close to the lid, and then put the cap on, and then you'll have some nice chili oil to have whenever you want. So easy to make chili oil, just got to be patient, do a slow fry up with all the goodness in there. You'll enjoy it at the end of the day. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment below if you thought you liked this, or maybe you've got your own feedback you want to put in. But I enjoy making this sort of stuff, and it's really tasty. Thanks, guys. Alright, now the oil's cooled down, we are going to put the oil in the chili crisp. So grab your funnel and your jar. I'm just going to scoop it in as so. And that's pretty much it. You just want to fill it up so it's just above the chili oil. And yeah, enjoy. Put it in the fridge. It'll go cold. It's really tasty on eggs and whatever you want to put it on. And the good thing is, if you've got leftover oil, which I reckon I will have, because I've only got 4 small jars out of all that concoction that we made, so you can bottle that chili oil and use it to marinate steaks before you put it on the barbecue, or drip it on eggs or whatever you want to do. But you've got extra chili oil to go for whatever you want. So enjoy, and thanks for watching.